Yeah, I'm very excited today. Let me know how you're feeling this morning. Let me know how you're feeling this morning and how last week was for you, because last week was really hard for me. It was definitely way more stressful than I would have liked. It was a wild week energetically, so let me know how you're feeling and how you're doing. I'm happy to be back here. Of course, I have my matcha. Okay, and this one has collagen in it. So I take it like every other month or every 2 months to help with my arthritis. So it helps to keep my joints lubricated and feeling really good. But it also has a beautiful benefit of like keeping my nails long and strong and keeping my hair healthy and my skin pretty clear. So I like to mix it in my morning matcha. Yeah, the last week had me in shambles as well. Yeah, I was not okay last week. Yeah, this is yeah, we're gonna like chat about it a little bit because I'm just like, why was last week so chaotic? Like, it was really not cute. I just did not feel like myself. Oh my goodness, yes, I'll share. I get it on Amazon. So what I'll try to do is create like a little Amazon shop. It's just the easiest way. Like I don't support Jeff Bezos in any way, shape, or form, but unfortunately, Amazon is a very doable thing, especially for someone who is abiding by like COVID restriction and stuff like that. So it's NeoCell and it's a powder collagen. It tastes like absolutely nothing. I love mixing it in my matcha. It makes it a little bit more creamier and thick, but you don't taste the difference. Like some collagen could taste really nasty. Yeah, so last week energetically was, I don't want to say it was trash, but it was kind of trash. It was kind of trash, y'all. It wasn't giving, and I was really in a funk, right? So I just felt like I don't want to say I was ungrateful, but let's be real, let's be transparent. I really was feeling ungrateful. I was feeling very overwhelmed by certain things in my life and certain experiences that I was having. And it was really making me feel like my life is this very difficult, horrible thing, right? And it was definitely an invitation to invite more grace into my life and to really just double check and make sure that I'm living in alignment. So I'm happy that I eventually got that message. But the entire week just dragged me and it was just really horrible. I ended up canceling the EFT live because of that too, because I'm just like, I'm not in the headspace or the energetic like frequency to even offer that. And I am a firm believer. I am like one of those annoying healers or practitioner that if I do not feel well, I am not creating. I am not doing anything. And I am blessed to be able to have that ability because some of us are creating for our survival and I'm not there anymore. I feel like there needs to be a sense of authenticity in the work that I do. So there are times where by habit I want to push through something, but I know I'm not energetically there. And I feel like that's very dangerous, especially if you're working with like an energy practitioner or healer. If they're not in the right energetic frequency, they should not be performing, guiding you through anything because you're essentially being guided through their own bullshit, right? So I have to handle my bullshit first and foremost, and then I can come and share the experiences and hold space. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of practitioners who do that. You know, again, like I said, a lot of us are operating out of survival, and it's just like I have to show up because I have to show up because I have to pay these bills. But I just feel like that becomes very dangerous. You know, like there are people. I was just telling Sky how I was approached by this other account, and they wanted me to buy crystal jewelry from them, but it was more of a desperation of like, you know, they don't have any money, and they were trying to sell it to me. But I'm just like, you're making healing medicine, like crystal healing jewelry that I'm supposed to wear, but you're making it with the energy of like, you know, scarcity and desperation because you were financially strapped. And that's like, I don't think people realize like you're offering that to people. Like it's so important to make sure you vet your practitioners. Like Sky and I will probably do a live on this at some point because we've been talking about it for years. But like vet us, and as a practitioner, I'm saying like vet me, okay? Go through it and make sure that I align with your frequency, your vibration. It's so important. Like vet us, make sure that we are walking our talk because a lot of times we don't. A lot of times we just know how to put on a good show and people believe it. And I say we because I never want to seem like I'm above or below what we go through as a collective when it comes to practitioners and energy healers and, you know, sound healers, crystal healers, all the healers of the world. It's just really important. You got to vet your source. So I wasn't well last week, so I just felt like I'm not going to sit there and ever offer you guys a lower vibration of me. I just don't think that that's fair. So we're back at it this week, baby, and we're talking about creative enjoyment. And I'm very excited because this is a timely ass message because I realized that last week I was experiencing frustration around my creativity, like annoyed that I even have to create, like annoyed that I have to like take care of myself to do well. Like I was over it. I was like, I'm tired of having to get up and do yoga and meditate and do EFT and eat well. I just don't want to do that, right? So I was like such a bratty person last week. It was hilarious. This is why I never read cards or do anything productive if I'm not 100%. Yeah, I feel like you gotta be from a space of overflow. Like if I am over 100%, you'll receive something from me. If I'm not, you're probably not gonna get anything from me. And it's better for both of us that way because the last thing that I want is to put someone that I care about or anyone in my community that is looking for guidance in a predicament that they may not be able to get out of, right? Especially like okay, this is gonna be like a side rant. Like when I create my mists and my conjure oils, like I do one for prosperity, right? I do one for protection and I do one for love, right? So those are my three signature fragrances, and they're all built around these three understandings. Most people are looking for money, love, or some type of protection or clarity, right? Like, let's say if I'm making like one of my embrace mists, which is for like beauty and love. If I don't feel beautiful, if I don't feel loved, I'm not making the mist. It's not happening. It's not going down. I won't make it. If I'm having a moment of like poverty mindset, because you know, as you're building up a habit, you can revert backwards. If I feel like that, or I feel like I've been stressing out about money, I'm not about to make a money mist and then sell it to y'all. Like, it's very unethical to me, but there's so many people who do it, and it really blows my mind. I'm just like, you were just saying that you hate this person that you're with, but now you're like, buy my love potion. It's like, I don't know if I want that type of love. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say just vet your practitioners. If there's anything you got from this episode so far, vet your practitioners. Matcha. Let's talk about matcha first because I got my cup right here. And this one is the cacao powder, matcha, collagen, honey, cinnamon, and some almond milk and water. So this is my little baby here. So let's cheers. If you have your matcha with you, if you don't have your morning drink, go ahead and grab that so we can cheers. Hey, baby Scorpio. We can cheers together, whatever. All right. Cheers to a good week, to more prosperity in life, and just to feeling a lot better than we did last week because last week wasn't it. I want to talk about how matcha helped me to transcend brain fog, which was really crazy. So in the beginning of my journey with like going into holistic medicine and just like wanting to use holistic wellness to help me out, matcha was very appealing because it was one of the only things that I could take that allowed me to think clearly. I would like have a lot of moments where I would go into like a different room and be like, why am I in here? And it would be so bad to the point where it was happening everywhere I went. Like I would just be in a space and not know why I was in that space. Like the brain fog was so severe early in my diagnosis. I would forget everything. I would forget my keys, forget my phone. And now sometimes when I get really, really stressed out, it starts to trigger the brain fog and I'll like forget the simplest of things. I have really great memory. So that's one of my telltale signs of like, okay, you're getting a little stressed out. And last week I was forgetting everything. I was like, I forgot my keys. I forgot my wallet. I lost two of my cards, my credit cards. I was like, what girl, what is going on here? How, Sway? And then I realized like, oh, you're stressed out. You need to like chill out a little bit. Drinking matcha really helps you in having clarity of your mind, like literally helping you, like literally by the time I'm done with a cup of matcha, I feel grounded. I feel like, okay, what do I need to get done? You know, and I'm able to get it done. It's not overwhelming me. So I love that. And I think it's a great way to continue amplifying your creative enjoyment. Then another way that I love matcha and what it does for me is that it gives me a natural boost of serotonin. Serotonin is that feel-good hormone that your girl was missing last week. But it naturally has that. It naturally triggers that in the body. So as I'm sipping it, I'm starting to feel a lot better. I'm starting to feel calmer, more in control of the narrative that I'm experiencing. So I love those two benefits from matcha. And especially with the collagen, like I said before, because the collagen, I can start to see the effects within like the first 3 days of using it. Like I'll notice like there's more elasticity in my skin. My skin is firmer. I look a lot younger, but more importantly, when I'm like doing things like opening up jars or walking up the steps, I notice that I'm not as tired anymore, that my joints don't feel so stressed out anymore because my body is getting the collagen that it needs. And maybe you don't know this, but I also am like a skin fanatic. And so I created a whole skincare line. Matcha is great for your skin. That's why my entire skincare line has matcha in it as its primary and foundational ingredient. But collagen starts to decrease in our bodies at the age of 25. So what ends up happening is as we get older, we make less and less collagen, which is why, we'll naturally receive like wrinkles and age spots and, we'll start getting those more aches and pains in the body. So I always encourage people, like, it doesn't matter what age you're at, especially if you're younger than 25, go ahead and start taking some supplements for collagen. Obviously check in with your physician, of course, and make sure that it's good for you and your body, because I'm not licensed to give you that type of information, but I'm just sharing what I do and what has helped me. So I found out about that when I was like 23 or 24, and I started taking collagen supplements, and I feel like because I was doing that at such an early age, even now into being 30, turning into 31 next month, it just helps me so much. Like the collagen really just helps me to feel good again and feel alive again. So by all means, please go ahead and check out collagen supplements and get into it, read about it, see if it feels right for you in your journey. How many of you love to create but hate the process? Let me know with like a show of hearts or drop a comment. And this is a very interesting question because I had to ask myself this a few times in my life, because now I love the process. But when I was younger, I really hated the fact that here's what I wanted to do, here's that end result, and then here's where I'm at, and all of the space in between I had to get through. I did not like that shit at all. Like the idea of having the journey to get to the end felt very exhausting and very frustrating and very scary of like, well, how am I going to get there? Like I see that I'm here, but this is what I want. This space in between though, how do I navigate that? How do I get to that end result? And it was causing me to be really ungrateful, to complain all the time. Oh my God, I was always complaining about everything. And mind you, this was me complaining about things that I actually wanted to create. So can you imagine how I was about the shit that I didn't even want to experience? It was really ugly. It was really bad. Really, really bad. I would complain about being bored maybe with your creative process. I know for me, sometimes I get into this moment of boredom. And I also feel overwhelmed by my process. Sometimes it's such a tedious process. I'm just like, oh my God, I got to do this every single time I want to make this. Like, whew, drives me crazy, right? But, and that's the thing. So Sky just said, I love the progress. I love the progress. But sometimes that process, I'd be like, do I really need to go through these steps? Is it necessary for me to go through the steps to get here? Because if I could just like cut a corner, but no, that's not it. Yeah. I have some struggle with putting out creation once I'm finished. I can't wait to get into this. Okay, cool. Or rather, procrastination with putting it out, and feeling overwhelmed with having to put it out. Yeah, so that also feels like some form of perfectionism as well. Perfectionism and procrastination are like two of the same coins. Like it just prevents you from putting it out there because you're just kind of like, ooh, I can fine tune, I can refine, I can, But also too, if I find that if the process was like super, super painful for me to get through, I definitely don't feel comfortable sharing it with people. You know what I mean? Like the end result. Because then what ends up happening is like people are like, oh my God, it's so incredible. It's so beautiful. I love it. And I'm just thinking about like, do you know how many fucking times I cried? Do you know how many times I like threw this shit away and had to go back and get it? Like that's what's going on in my head as people are saying like, wow, I can't believe you made this. This is so beautiful. I love it. And I got to a point like that and I had to, I'll be honest with myself where it's like, now if I find myself complaining about the process, I just pause the whole experience together. So like even with my my physical products like my conjure oils and my mist and my skincare line, like I love making it, but when I have to make so much at such a large like quantity of time and all that stuff like that, I get very overwhelmed because it's very tedious, it's very intentional. It takes a lot of energy for me to make these things because I'm handcrafting them. There's intention, there's prayers that need to be said. There's so much behind the scenes. And I've now realized that there are seasons for that. I don't have to continuously create. One, that's just, I'm not a machine. right? And I have to stop treating myself like that. But secondly, it's like, if I'm not enjoying it anymore, why am I doing it anymore? I've done all this work to be in a space where I can make these conscious choices. Let me not act out of habit, and instead act out of like intention of like, I really want to create this. That's why I'm doing my restock next week, because I'm like, I am ready to give a new batch. I'm ready to give a new batch. The energy has leveled up. You know, the vibrations are higher, and I really want to be able to give you guys some goods. And now I'm doing it like that. I had to really throw away the whole like business model of like every month a restock. Let's go. Da da da. It's just like, now it's when it feels right, I'm gonna do a restock, and I feel like that allows me to continue to enjoy the process because I'm doing it when it feels good. Yes, Aura said paralysis by analysis. Yep. Yes, I have a history of getting offended by being told I'm overthinking. Sure, my brain races, but my intelligent intuition are top tier. Yeah, you know what it is too? I don't really get offended when people say that I'm an overthinker, because I know that I am. I really am working on not being an overthinker and just being in the moment and practicing being present and feeling through things. You know, I've said this a lot of times, but you know, our brains are outdated, right? Our brains are completely outdated. They only can process things that we've experienced. Even when you're trying to envision the future, it's based off of things you've experienced in the past, right? Really, what I consider to be top tier about me and my process is listening and feeling into my authority, my human design authority, which is to be emotional. My emotions are my new brain. They help me to feel through things, and then that way I'm not really offended by people's comments and stuff like that, because I still get really upset when people tell me that I'm emotional. Now I'm just like, yeah, I'm definitely emotional. You're not incorrect about that. I'm super fucking emotional. Like, yeah, you're right, you know, and kind of making peace with that. Yes, the energy needs to be right for the creative process to even start. I've had a very similar experience with my products this year, and my mind and creativity is elsewhere. Yeah, you know what? There are tons of things and tons of experts that will completely say that I'm full of bullshit. I'm instantly thinking about Gary Vee right now, him just being like, bitch, no, you're wrong. Like, you fucking do it when you don't want to do it. And you just keep doing it until you feel like doing it. And that works for some people. I just know that for me and my people, like, that may not be it. And I just want to be transparent in that understanding of what creative enjoyment is. So, creative enjoyment, I heard about this in the book by Liz Gilbert called The Big Magic. I feel like that's such a good book for every creative to read. I absolutely love it. If you can get the audio version of it too, they have it like in local libraries too, especially if you're in New York City. I think it's better when you get to listen to an audiobook, especially when the author is reading it, because you get to hear the nuances, and they always like go off script and just tell you another story. It's really juicy, and Liz does the same thing with this book. But she talks about creative enjoyment being very simply, you're enjoying the creativity. You're enjoying what you create. You're in joy with it as well. It's not that you're just like, oh, this is so much fun, but you're like in it, and it is filling you up. It is making you feel like, wow, life is limitless, and I'm so grateful to be able to get up and to do this, right? And that is so important for us to feel as creatives, as spiritualists, as healers, practitioners, however you identify. If you feel like you're a gifted person, which we all are, but you have to know that for yourself. It's about really enjoying the process. You have to enjoy the process. Hi, how are you? Yes, I just can't see my processing and downloads as overthinking. It's wild because my customers have become dependent, and I move. Yeah, so you know what it is too? Intuition and downloads don't have anything to do with your thoughts. They are insights, right? Like literally insight. Something that's in within me that I'm able to see. Insights, right? I know we say that all the time in like spirituality. I don't know if people really understand at least what I mean when I'm saying insights. Like, these are things that I am seeing that are of the divine. They're from the divine within, and I'm able to see them. That's a lot different than me thinking and processing using my brain. A lot of times we think that's what we're doing, and it's not. Yes, 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 right? So, creative enjoyment. When I listened to this episode, so you guys know this is Divine Rewind. I have a full episode of this on my podcast. I'll link into the bio link after this live is over. But I was just listening to it. I'm just like, wow, I literally was struggling with this just last week. Like, complaining all the time, getting really frustrated, feeling extremely just uncomfortable with my life. And I have a really good life. So I'm like, why are you so fucking uncomfortable? And I think I had reverted back to this lower vibration. So I want to talk about it, but let me take a sip really quickly because This matcha is sitting here looking delicious, and I'm like, you gotta drink it. You know what I'm saying? Yes. So be insightful and correct people. Someone says you're an overthinker, be like, no, I'm just insightful. Give them the proper language to express who you are. And if they combat you on that, then honestly, for me, I just wouldn't talk to that person. I'm really good at just being like, I just really don't want a lot of resistance in my life. That I naturally have resistance because this is a human experience. Like, I'm not about to just let you add in more. So like, if you're gonna argue with me about how I describe myself, I'm just not gonna talk to you. I don't know. That's just me. That's just, I don't have the patience of the time. Like, I'm not about to defend myself. There's literally no need to do that. We just ain't gotta talk. Like, very, very simple. I don't, yeah, that's not a thing that I go through. But yeah. So, in that episode, I share how I lost the joy in doing the things that help me enjoy life. So even down to like my morning routines, I'm an advocate for morning routines. I created an entire method for you guys to use so that you can get used to strengthening a morning routine and bringing it into a morning ritual. I still, to this day, have moments where I ebb and I flow and I'm just like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to take care of myself. It's also a form of self-sabotage as well, because I know taking care of myself really well every day just allows me to experience more and more. And the more days that I take off from taking care of myself, it just delays the progress for me. So when I start to feel like I am losing joy in the things that I'm doing, I have to really slow down a bit more, because sometimes I don't even realize that that's happening. Hey, Amber. I don't even realize that that's happening. A lot of times I'm just going through the motions and I'm just like, man, I don't feel well. And then if I'm slowing down enough, I can sit there and be like, wow, you didn't do XYZ this morning or yesterday morning or the day before that. Actually, you haven't really taken any time out just to kind of sit with yourself recently. What's going on there? And then I can explore that, right? Another thing is, too, I talked about how losing my sense of joy for my creative process pushed away the intentions that I had set in place. And that was really mind blowing for me to experience too, because when you start to push joy away, you actually lose sight of your intentions. You lose sight of your why, right? Because you're just so caught up in the complaining. You're so caught up in like the annoyance. Oh my God, just it's me thinking about me last week. Like, girl, I love you, but yikes, right? So complaining revokes our access to creativity. I really love that insight. Complaining revokes our access to creativity. Because we get sucked in by complaining that we forget that it's a privilege to be able to create. If you were able to create something and then even be able to make a profit from that, that is a privilege. And it's also a divine birthright. And I feel like those might feel like very like an oxymoron, but it's a privilege. Not everybody gets to do that. It's everyone's divine birthright to be able to create and to be able to make a lifestyle off of that creation. We all have that birthright. Some of us are not tuned in or maybe not aware of that birthright, right? But we all have it. It's a privilege to be able to express it. I am privileged to be able to create products, to create courses, to create classes, a membership platform, and be able to make an income off of it where I don't need to go into an environment or a space that is toxic or draining for my survival, right? That is a privilege. It is an honor. And when I lose sight of that, it's really dangerous, honestly, to lose sight of the fact that this is a privilege. Me being able to fund my life, to be able to feed myself, to keep a roof over my head, to be able to have clothes to wear, for me to be able to keep up with my appearances and have my hair done and do my nails and go out to eat when I want. Like, all that is a privilege. And when I start to do things like, oh, I gotta get my nails done today. Oh my God, I gotta do my hair. It's gonna take like 6 hours to do. Oh my God, we need to go out to eat later. I really don't want to go to the restaurant. Like, girl, what? Like, ma'am, these are choices. These are choices that you've made. You made these choices to live this life, to create this life. And if you don't like what you've created, then I strongly suggest you go back and edit, refine, so that you can begin to feel grateful for what it is that you're doing. But complaining too is so sneaky that you don't even realize that you're doing it until you're in a bad mood. You don't even realize that you're doing it until you're in a bad mood. I used to complain about going to the post office all the time to mail off my products. And I have to check myself, like, people literally sent you their hard-earned money for something that you created with Source. And you got to make that for them with all this love, intention, and high vibration. Package it. Go to another place of service, and they're going to actually get it to that place, and you're complaining about having to walk down the block to stand on a line. You have to check yourself in that way, right? You have to be honest with yourself and be like, girl, Wolf, like, what's going on with you? Why are you even out here saying these things? And it's because you get caught up in the mundane, right? When we forget to bring intention to the forefront of the things that we're creating, after a while, it just feels annoying. It's just like, oh my God, I gotta do this again. Oh no, my restock is happening in a few. Let me create my products. Like, that's just so, it's just unhealthy. And you're taking your own joy away, right? And I just feel like that's even crazy, because it's not even like someone else or something else outside of you is trying to snatch it up. You're doing it to yourself. So can you imagine if you're allowing yourself to take your own joy away? You can't really be surprised when other people want to snatch it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you've already given them permission by the way you treat yourself. Yes, to be conscious, out of the rat race, live in alignment, to have such an impactful purpose. Yes. It's so important to remind yourself of that. And the upkeep, the process is to remind you. It's not for you to go into autopilot until you get to the end. The process is there to remind you. It gives you invitation after invitation after invitation to enjoy, to reflect, to redefine. Like, it gives you all these opportunities to show gratitude, to have deep appreciation for yourself, for your own genius, for your connection to source. That's what the process, the journey is all about. It gives you a chance to practice. It gives you a chance to experience. It gives you a chance to embody. So by the time you get to your end result, you're not like sad about it, right? An example I can give you guys is when I was running for student government president in college, right? I ran really hard too. My campaign was amazing. And I was so focused on it, right? Like, just so like, oh my goodness, I got to get to this end goal. Was not enjoying the process at all whatsoever. I could not find any joy in that process. I just was like, I need to get to this point because I said I was going to do this thing. And I get to it, right? End up becoming president by landslide but of course. And everyone's cheering for me, my entire like government that I was able to hand select, all beautiful Black and brown people, LGBTQIA. Like, I had a very diverse community, a government walk in with me, and I was very grateful about that. And it was predominantly Black and brown bodies too, because I was very adamant about, if that's the majority here in this college, that should be who's helping to put where the finances need to be. Anyway, so I go through all of that, and it's the day I won. Everybody's screaming. Everybody's mad excited. Everybody's like, oh my God, you made history, da, da, da. And I was in my office crying. I felt so depressed. So depressed. Like, overwhelmed with sadness. I was just there crying for hours. I cried until the celebration party was over and everyone had left, and then I ended up leaving. Like, it was really bad. And I had to like go to one of my mentors, and I'm like, why am I so sad about this? Like, I should be feeling so good, like I broke all these boundaries, I broke all these records, and I got exactly what I said I was going to do. I did it, and I'm going to be able to implement all these great changes. Why don't I feel good about it? And she was like, did you enjoy the process of getting there? Did you enjoy the process of getting there? Meeting the other students, talking to them about your game plan, like sitting in, the school itself and just taking it all in. Did you enjoy the process? And I was like, no, I just wanted to get to the end goal. I had to get to the end goal. And she was like, that's exactly why right now you are so sad. You just missed an entire opportunity to really enrich your life because you were so focused on your goal. You forgot to enjoy the creative process of being able to even have the opportunity to do something like this, and then to bring it into life and to birth your vision and to see it come true. you missed all of that simply by complaining and focusing only on the end goal. And that really shifted everything for me and how I want to show up in the world. I really wanted to learn how to enjoy the process. So in the episode, I created a CPR method that shows you how to do that by using creativity, praise, and resonating energy to help you learn how to do that. But for today's live, we're going to do an EFT for creative enjoyment. We're going to tap in and set that as our intention for this week. But before we get into that, let me read these comments. Yes, 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 yes. Trippy Siren. It's kind of like going on a road trip, but paying such close attention to the map that you don't even notice the scenery. It is exactly like that. And can you imagine how frustrated that would be? To spend all of that time, because you spend more time on the journey than you do at the end goal. And maybe I'm wrong. If you have a different experience, by all means share it. This is a community. But my end experiences do not last longer than the journey itself, right? If I'm working towards an event, the event is only 30 to 30 minutes to an hour, you know what I'm saying? Or maybe it's a few days, but it's not the entire weeks, months, hours, minutes that I put in to getting there. It is exactly like that. That is yeah. I just saw what Sky said. It's a beautiful analogy. I 100% agree. And just thinking about the frustration of being like, oh my God, the map says go here. I got to go here. And you're missing all of the beauty around you. Literally missing it all. All you are thinking about is how to get to that end point. That is a deadly type of tunnel vision. That sucks the life out of everything that you do. Yeah, it really is. The destination is just a reward. And it's supposed to just feel really great because, wow, I just did all these amazing things to get here. That's really all that it's for. Yes, Guy said it's so important for us to give ourselves the opportunity to feel and be through each part. Yes, feel and be. And those are two separate things. And I love that you separated them. To feel first. Right now, I am feeling good right now. Talking to you guys, sipping my matcha, talking about something I'm very passionate about. But also just to be. Like, do you hear? I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but like every time I say like certain words, they're so absolute that it's its own sentence, and there's like this beautiful silence afterwards that is so affirming. Like to just be. Like wow, like no expectations. There's no need for productivity. There's no need for any of that. It's just to be. I don't know. Words like that just get me. I'm just like, oh, I love that. Yes, yes, yes. Trippy Siren, true. I'm a flow artist and I focus so much on getting one trick perfect that I don't actually have fun. Yeah. You take the joy out of your experience. And it's creative enjoyment. I love how she breaks that down, like to be in joy with the creativity that you're experiencing. Got to be in it. And when you're in it, when you're in something and you're present, you're witnessing everything. You're using your five senses. You're using your supernatural senses to really tune in and embody the entire experience, the journey, so that it's of you and it never leaves you. Yes. Yes. Oh my God. I love when we be connected in the comments. Okay. So we're going to tap in for creative enjoyment. And I'm really excited. It's a cute little tapping sequence. And we're going to set this intention of like, yo, as we go on in this week and hopefully throughout life, of course. Hi, beautiful being. Hi, Lo. This is the other Lo. As we move forward in life, I want us to really bring to the forefront, am I enjoying this? And there's some questions I love to ask. One thing is when I get really, really frustrated, and I asked myself this question a lot last week because I was very frustrated last week. I asked myself, what in this moment is satisfying? It's a really great way to ground myself, especially when I feel like I'm getting overwhelmed by my emotions and the experience that I'm having. I love to ask myself, what is satisfying right now? So if I was to do that right now in this moment, what is satisfying right now? Me sitting down on my couch is satisfying. Me feeling the wood floors underneath my feet is very satisfying. Me being able to talk to you all from the comforts of my home on a Monday morning is very satisfying to me. Me being able to smell the aroma of my matcha and sip it slowly and enjoy it is very satisfying to me. They're simple things. They don't have to be these complex things. They could just be as simple as my nails are done, and that is very satisfying for me. That helps me to come back to myself first and foremost, and to get out of whatever it is that I'm experiencing that's overwhelming me. Another question I love to ask is, well, what can I do right now to bring me joy? That might be texting my friend randomly and just telling them that I love them, because that makes me feel really good, right? Or it could be calling up my partner just to hear his voice, right? It could be going to play with my niece because she's hilarious and I love hanging out with her, you know? I ask myself these simple questions so that I can come back to the space to enjoy. So I definitely encourage you guys to take those two questions with you. What is satisfying right now? And what can I do right now to bring me joy, or to activate my joy, right? Maybe not even say bring me, because then that makes it feel like the joy is away from you. To activate it from within you, right? Hi. All right, so let's get tapping. All right, you want to take your sip of your morning drink. If it's water, it's water. If it's tea, it's tea. If it's matcha, it's matcha. Okay. And I want you to get really comfortable in your position. So if you want to put your feet on the floor to ground yourself, you can do that. Crisscross applesauce. It's really up to you. You can tap sitting up, standing up, laying down. It really doesn't matter. Tapping is so fluid. It's so creative. It's just, there's so many ways to get into it. Whatever works for you is what works for you. Just make sure you drink something, preferably water, but whatever your morning drink is right now is fine, because we're not doing a full session. You can close your eyes. Just come back to your body for a moment. Take a nice deep inhale. Breathe into the lower belly. Allow the air to slowly rise up through the chest. And when you're ready, open mouth, exhale, release. You can drop your shoulders. And just notice how your body is. Notice the rise and the fall of your chest as you breathe in and out. Notice the expanding of your lower belly as you breathe in and out. And maybe you'll notice too the noises around you, the sounds in the background. They're there. They can coexist with you in this moment. That is completely okay. You are completely okay. And you are safe. You are safe to enjoy your creativity. You are safe to enjoy the process. You are safe. And you are supported. Okay, let's do this. You ready? Gently open your eyes. Hey, babe. Okay, we're going to tap it out. Okay, so karate chop point. If you've never done this with me before, do not worry. This is a mini session. The full sessions happen on Thursday for our live classes that happen at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you're tapping me right now, I got you. You're covered. No worries. We're going to start here in the first position, which is the karate chop point, and lightly tap here. Wow, you really feel it wake you up. It's really crazy. Okay. Repeat after me, or allow me to speak over you, whatever feels good for you in this experience, okay? I take full responsibility for my well-being. I take full responsibility for my well-being. One more time. I take full responsibility for my well-being. Yes. And then we go to the top of the head and lightly tap here. Here we go. There no longer has to be struggle in my creativity. Yes. I'm going to go to the start of the eyebrow and tap here. You can use one hand or two hands, whatever feels best for you. I don't need to struggle in my artistry. And then we're going to go to the temples and tap here. I no longer need to feel pain, frustration, confusion when I create. Then we're going to go to underneath the eye and tap here. It does not validate my creativity. Underneath the nose, lightly tap here. Sometimes I create from pain, and sometimes I don't. Both are worthy. I'm going to go to the chin, lightly tap here. I am releasing that narrative today that I must struggle. I must experience things I don't want to experience in order to create. I'm going to go to the collarbone and tap here. I am willing to transform my pain. I'm going to go underneath the arm and tap here into something that is pleasurable. I'm going to top of the head and tap here. And I'm not going to feel guilty about it either. To the eyebrow and tap here. I want to experience radical pleasure when I create. I'm going to go to the side of eyes and tap here. I want to be in joy when I create. We're going to go to underneath the eyes and tap here. I choose to enjoy my creative process. We're going to go to underneath the nose, tap here. It brings my deepest desires to life. We're going to go to the chin and tap here. My purpose unfolds in limitless ways. And then we're going to go to the collarbone and tap here. When I enjoy my creative process, it sets me free. Ooh, we're going to do that one more time. When I enjoy my creative process, it sets me free. And we're going to go to underneath the arm one more time and tap here. I resonate with this divine truth. And then I want you just to put your hands in your lap or by your side and just take a nice deep inhale. Breathe all the way in. And when you're ready, exhale, release. You can close your eyes if you want to right now. I'm just going to send you some loving vibrations if you're open to receiving them. Just continue to focus on your breath. You can place one hand over your heart chakra and then another hand over your lower belly, that sacral chakra, creative cosmic wound energy, okay? And just, you can lightly just shake there. You can shake your hands up and down over your lower belly, over your heart chakra. And just continue to do that and take deep inhales and exhales, okay? Okay. As you continue to breathe in, I want you to breathe in the knowing that your creativity can be joyful. It doesn't have to come from a place of pain all the time. You're able to pull from joy. You're able to live with pleasure. You're able to create when you want to create, how you want to create. You don't have to subscribe to anything that doesn't feel good to you anymore when it comes to your creative enjoyment. You don't have to push through to get there. You can just show up with intention. Ask for that clarity. Tap into your ancestors. Tap into the universal cosmic wisdom that is all around you and allow it to be there with you. Call on it. Call on that energy and say, be with me. And I want you to continue breathing, taking those deep breaths. Continue to vibrate. Continue to activate that heart chakra and align it with your sacral so that you can have true love, authentic love as you create. Another deep inhale. Breathe into the lower belly. There we go. Continue to take nice deep exhales. Inhale, exhale. There we go. Okay. We're releasing that pressure. I can feel it in the body. This feels really great. Continue to breathe. Breathe in the knowingness that now as I create, I will enjoy. And when it is no longer enjoyable, I will pause and I will rest. And I will look to do something different that feels more enjoyable. And I'm not going to beat myself up about it. I'm not going to pressure myself to get through it. I'm just going to pause and rest until I'm ready to come back. And I feel like someone is having a hard time accepting that. It's okay. Take another deep inhale. Breathe in. There we go. It's safe. It's safe to pause and rest when you are no longer in enjoyment. It's safe to be in joy. It's safe to enjoy your process. It is safe. You are safe. Another deep inhale. Breathe into the lower belly. Open mouth, exhale, release, drop the shoulders. Come back to your truth. Come back to your power. Come back to that knowing. And we set the intention. You can drop your hands by your side now. That as you walk through today, tomorrow, this week, and all the weeks and days to come, that you will embody creative enjoyment. That you will pause as in your process and just be like, wow, I get to do this. I get to create this. I have somehow created a beautiful life where I get to create things. Whether it's just for my own enjoyment or for other people that I care about, I get to do this. I get to create. I get to enjoy my creative process. And be at peace with that truth. Allow it to wash over you in the next inhale. Breathe it in. Let it go through all of your primary chakras. Breathe it all the way up into the crown. And then exhale, release it, solidifying it in your energetic vibration from here on out. Being there when you need it. And when you're ready, come back to the space and you can open your eyes. And there we are. Hi everyone who joined in. Hi. Yes, or I want to say I choose violence after closing out. It's okay. No worries. I hope you guys are all feeling good with that light coding in there with the EFT for the week. Let me know how you're feeling below. Hey D, how are you? You can show some hearts if it felt really good for you. You can drop a comment in the comment section to let me know if something came up for you, if you felt anything in particular that you want to express before we head on out for our day. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I really do feel like that. Yes. Okay. Perfect. And just continue to move throughout the day, move throughout this week. When you have those moments of like, ooh, I'm not feeling my greatest, you can go ahead and tap. It doesn't matter where you tap. I have a sequence to teach y'all, but you can tap anywhere that feels good to tap. You can tap the back of your neck if you want to. You can tap both of your ribs, sides of your ribs. It doesn't matter. You can tap on a certain chakra point. If you start to feel overwhelmed, tap it out. Take deep inhales and exhales. Tap it out. Move the energy. Unblock yourself, okay? Yes, my hand started vibrating at the end. You're supercharging your chakras. So now think about when you're about to start getting into your flow and your artistry. It's about to be crazy. I'm so excited for you. Yes. Ooh, that's so beautiful. And of course, continue to drink some water afterwards. Anytime that you're doing energetic work. I don't care if you're doing a meditation, sound healing, EFT, NLP, hypnotherapy, whatever it is that has to do with your energy, you need water. Water is so helpful. Helps to move, helps to keep everything flowing and glowing and juicy and all the good things, okay? So I'm so happy that this is resonating with you all. Just want to give you guys some quick updates before we head out. Next week, I have a special guest on the Matcha Live. We doing it big. So you guys know at the end of every month, I have like 2 of my favorite people come on with me to talk about matcha, to make matcha together in real time. So we'll be making a matcha recipe together in real time next week, Monday. And they're also featured on my podcast. So we'll have Samantha, who is she's my yoga mentor. I absolutely adore her. She's a cannabis advocate, a mental health advocate. She's truly phenomenal. Her birthday was just yesterday too, so show her some love. She'll be on there with me along with Rebecca Love of Organize for Love. She's a professional organizer and she specializes in helping Black bodies feel at home in their homes. And it is incredible. So they're both going to be on live with me and we're going to be making a golden matcha latte. And we'll also be making a golden milk for anyone who doesn't drink matcha or doesn't have matcha with them right then and there. So I'll be sending out the ingredients for that in today's email, so you guys can go ahead and cop it and grab it so you could be ready. So next week we'll do a live making of the golden matcha latte from my upcoming cookbook. We're going to chat about our favorite episodes of Global Land Podcast and how this month treated us and what our biggest lesson is. So make sure you come you come next week to come and chit chat with us. You can watch the other episode, the first episode of That Type of Matcha Live. It was with Sky and Charlie, and we had so much fun kikiing together with y'all. It was so good, so juicy. So make sure you come in next Monday at 11 a.m. to do that with us. And I can't wait to cheers with you all and connect with you all. Of course, EFT Live is happening this Thursday. We're going to do it up big since I missed last Thursday. So make sure that you're there to tap in, have a full EFT experience with me for absolutely free on Instagram. I love that. I love that we get to create those safe spaces here. And I love you. Restock is the 24th. So if that's something you're interested in, go ahead and check my stories to set all the reminders that you need. And I love you so much. Have a beautiful week. Like, enjoy your week. Enjoy the creativity as it shows up. Be at peace with it. And know that you are absolutely incredible in every single way. I don't care how you felt last week. I don't care what last week tried to bring up for you. Last week was last week, baby. We are in a new week, and I want you to feel prosperous. I want you to feel protected. I want you to feel as infinite as you are. All right? I'm sending you all of my love. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, yeah, we're going to get into all the benefits of golden milk next week, too. So please make sure if you're drinking golden milk, come through. If you're drinking the golden matcha latte, come through. All right, I am going. I love you. Be at peace. Mwah.